Right. Today is November 25th, 2023. What a fucking week it's been. Got crap popping all off over in the US and everything else and elsewhere and different areas and stuff. We got these mega influencers still shitting on people and all this other crap. And then out of the blue, two new platforms that I'm streaming to. Welcome on in. Those who are very new to this and everything else. This is where I basically have my echo chamber for, 30 minutes or so. It's basically just me rambling and just seeing, talking about the stuff that I see throughout the week on top of everything else throughout the horizon that I'm taking a gander on. Um oh jeez, dude. Where do I even begin with the freaking mega influencers? We'll just start with, one of the laziest streamers I've ever known where people are like, oh, I'm just going to follow her and sub to her. And Pokimane. Like, I get people want to start their own business and everything and all the other crap, but, and you can actually search this if you want. But if you sit there and want to straight up call people broke boys because they can't afford $28 worth of cookies. I know $28 worth of gas goes a lot further than a food item because that $28 can actually get you to an interview. On top of that, if you're like, that's 4 bags. If you do the math, that's 7 cookies per bag. And I'm almost certain they don't taste that good, anyways. And a caveat on that, Voice Critical, I applaud his notion on that. She shouldn't have said that. And, shouldn't have even remotely done half the crap that she's done. But she is what I call a lazy streamer. She'll sit in front of a camera, sit there and just talk down to everybody. And her sister's no different. But the only thing is the difference between her and her sister, Valkyrie. Valkyrie will put a motherfucker in their place whenever it comes to gaming. Pokemon, not so much. Now, bring that up first because I asked a question on Monday, November 20th. Is there any professionalism in streaming these days? And I get cussing and everything else is one thing. But what I am referring to are, well, we'll just dive on the male human body. I'm not going to go through the whole LGBTQIA thing and everything. I'm going male and female and drag queens, okay? Cross dressers, stuff like that. If you don't like the context of it, I'm sorry. I'm not here to appease anybody. All right. What I don't get is why males who have their shirts off don't face any revocation on any consequences. Because if I'm a brand and I'm looking at your content and stuff like that, I'm looking for a little bit more professionalism. Yeah, you can wear, t-shirts, you wear tank tops, but if I can see your nips, no. Same thing goes with the females, and I'm going to touch on this briefly because the drag queens kind of equate into this as well. If you are wearing barely anything covering your body, I don't want to associate you, I don't want to work with you. But yet you have all these corporations, all these businesses that are like, oh, well, we want this because we know she can make us a lot of money or they can make us a lot of money. It's like you're sacrificing your morals for the dollar. You won't be around too long. Simple. You just won't. You don't believe me? Look at everybody who's done this in this type of business in the past. When you sacrifice your morals to chase the freaking dollar, you lose out. And it shows. Like, I mean, no easy way to say it. Games who've done this in the past, like Anthem, with so much exclusive skins and so many downloadable DLCs that cost everybody stuff, they sacrificed their morals to produce a better game that was supposed to be the Destiny killer, and we know what happened with that. Or, Ubisoft, not catering to the needs of the community with Watchdog Legions. There's no support for it anymore. They sacrifice the morals to chase the dollar. Roundabout with what I'm saying, Snoop Dogg said, I'm no longer smoking. And it was the best 30-second masterclass whenever it comes to advertisement I've ever seen. Brilliant. Because what he's talking about is he's no longer, puffing, but he has a fire pit that's doing the job for him. Dude was brilliant with it. And I mean, my hat's off to him on that. That was perfection. Now, these next two areas I'm going to bring up kind of briefly. If you are streaming to Trovo and to Kick, I would start diversifying, especially if you're under 20,000 followers. I would start diversifying your content as of a month ago. As I took a gander on Trovo's viewership at peak time for viewership for Europe. I count less than 1,000 people total watching across multiple games. And that worries me. That actually worries me because that says y'all don't care about growing. And I know I'm streaming to Trovo while recording this. That tells me y'all don't care about growing or pushing out any advertisements or anything like that. Y'all care about this whole PK, this, arena stuff, and, basically keeping it to where you're only gonna have a little bit of revenue from your creators to help facilitate everything else. We are not your marketers. We are your creators. We are your live streamers on your platform. We are not your marketing team. Stop expecting us to market your platform. You've been around for 3+ years. You've not done any marketing. And I'm not talking about going to social media. I've not seen one ad on YouTube or Rumble, let alone Facebook, that shows anything to bring people to your platform. I haven't seen any advertisements whatsoever. And that scares me because that means you don't care about growing your platform. You don't. You can offer people so much and everything else, but at the end of the day, when they see there's nothing viable here, they're going to question where you are. Like, why is your platform not as big as you want it to be? Are you doing the things in the right steps, or are you not really wanting to focus on that? On everything else that's going on. Because I can tell you the two new places that I'm streaming to, SharePlay and LiveSpace, they are doing everything correctly. They're working out all the kinks immediately. Something that, newer platforms don't necessarily tend to do within the first month or so of rolling into a beta. They're rolling in and taking care of everything that they need to take care of in a heartbeat, man. Because it's one of those things, like, you see what's going on and you need to adjust. I'm miffed by it, man. I'm miffed. And another thing, like don't get me wrong, Trollo's it used to be a good spot until you rolled out the boxes. Like the freaking treasure box thing was a brilliant idea. Garners viewership to the channel. Then people started abusing it. We kept asking for you to take it away, 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 take it away. What'd y'all do? You kept it there. You kept the boxes there. You wonder why so many people's analytics are so freaking skewed. And yes, I am still jaded by how you guys want to update your metrics right when I am about to qualify for the Trouble 500 3 times in a row. Now I don't care. I'm just streaming to the platform now. Do I care if I make a lot of money on it? No. Do I care if I make any money? No, I don't. People want to support me on there, they can. I'm not going to stop them. Let's go to the other green one, Kick. I find it hysterical when you say, oh, well, it's the best place for a small streamer and everything else. Bring your community over. And the Joker on Kick kind of hit this by, stealing somebody else's animation about addiction and formatting it to what the promises are on Kick. Yeah, the 95.5 sub split's nice. Have I gotten a whole lot of it? No. Maybe 3, 4 subs tops. Whatever. 10. Cool. $70 payout, whatever. What's not cool is when you constantly see these larger creators sign for these multiple $1 million contracts. And you're basically saying, fuck you to the smaller creators. If y'all don't change this notion, and you do not really start focusing on people who have more to bring to the table, because I'm going to tell you straightforward, all of the smaller creators that see this, we get hurt whenever you sign somebody who said, I'm retiring to a multiple $1 million deal. And they don't bring much to the table anymore. But yet within your contract, you say, oh, you had to gamble some of it. It's like, hell no. If you are assigning people to the contract, that's their decision to be able to, make that notion on whatever they want to do. But aside from that, we see more than what you credit us for. I'm seeing more smaller streamers give up on this notion of being a full-time creator. And it sucks because you can have, your freaking Nick Mercs, your Ninjas, your Tim the Tatmans, your Dr. Lupos, your Shrouds, Dr. Disrespects, whomever. You could try to have just them sustain a platform. It'll last maybe a month, 2 months. But without your smaller creators and, the vast amount of communities that we make up, that bring that viewership, that bring, as small as the revenue may be, it all stacks up. And I'd even put my fucking bottom dollar on this. You can have 1,000 smaller communities go up against one of your largest creators on the platform, and I guarantee within those 1,000, you're gonna find something that you never thought possible. Real community, real positivity, real content creation. Something that a lot of people don't know, going on these days. A lot of people don't understand. It boggles my mind, dude. Why a platform offers and says, oh, hey, we want this and this and this and this. Big streamer, money back. It's not hard to see. It ain't. You can just go through and see everything that's happened. And speaking of going through and seeing everything that's happened, like, And I'm gonna tell y'all now, for those who are brand new to this setting, I cover everything. This is my echo chamber. This is me just rambling on with what I see throughout the week. I find it funny that people are like, oh, hey, here's a new exploit, new hack on Modern Warfare 3. You mean that same thing that we've been doing for 10 years, that we've known about for God knows how long? It's cute that you think so. Ain't that right, COD News? Oh, check this out of a game-breaking thing that somebody did. It's like, no, they've been doing that since the fucking game originally dropped. It's nothing new. I will say I did play COD. I played the campaign. Campaign was aight. Multiplayer, it's decent. I'll put some time and effort into it, but multiplayer, it's for the most part decent. Um, but one thing I will say is the one thing I like is I can mute the whole freaking lobby and I ain't gotta worry about anything. And scrolling through the playlist, I noticed that there's a private Warzone section. I'm like, this will make for some really good shenanigans. But aside from that, it kind of rekindles that, FPS notion on me wanting to actually grind to be better than what I used to be. Kind of. Not wholeheartedly, but kind of. On top of that, we have something where I 100% never thought I would ever have to talk about. And that would be the failed leadership of this country. That would be the failed leadership of this administration and the failed leadership that's circling around what's going on. I don't identify as Republican or Democrat. I don't identify as conservative or liberal. I identify as an independent, informed American. Okay? Everything that I have been seeing for the past couple of years, we all knew it was only going to be a matter of time when something like what happened with Niagara Falls in New York happened. It's only been talked about for the past 15 to 20 years about securing the border. And yet, here we are again, talking about securing the border another time. But meanwhile, we can't secure the border because we can't pass a budget. Ask yourself this. Why are they even in office? If you can't do just the fundamental thing of coming to a common ground of passing a budget, special elections, get out. Because it's shown that those who've been around for, the past 2 decades plus don't really care. As I guarantee you, a couple months from now, there's going to be a looming government shutdown going on again. And it's going to be like, oh, well, why didn't you do this again back in September? And, it's going to be, hey, what's in it for me and all this other stuff. And I feel for those who are on active duty, I got to deal with this because they got to, like, those who actually have bills to pay, they got to wonder, will I be able to make it? They got to wonder, hey, will I be able to put food on the table? Am I even going to be able to afford, rent? Or even those who have a house, will I be able to afford the mortgage? And consequences follow whenever they can't pay this too. I am not joking when I say I am very worried for the next couple months. Especially with how things are going to turn out. But yet, we keep sending billions and billions and billions overseas for aid that we have no business in. Especially whenever certain companies like Chase and another organization I refuse to say on a recorded channel, where they're trying to build up the infrastructure over in Western Europe, between Ukraine and Russia. It's like, ask yourself, why are they there? What's going on? This isn't a conspiracy theorist type thing. This is just me that notices things throughout the course of every week. I talk about it on, Saturday or Sunday, depending on whatever I've allotted. It's just what I see. So with that, I ask, hey, are y'all prepared for, what's coming on? Because I can tell you, nobody is. Even all the preppers, those who have bunkers and, a lot of guns and stuff, they're not even prepped. They're not even prepared. Nobody is. But we'll just have to see what the next couple months bring, especially within our lives. Now, excuse me. One thing I will say is, and like I say, I don't stick to a script. I go back and forth through everything. One thing I can say is, this past week was interesting. Dove back into a couple of games that I ain't touched in a while. Was able to actually load up an old school game that came out back in '03, and yeah, I enjoyed it. But within everything that goes on within gaming and streaming, everybody always associates you with just, one or two games. People know me back from Mixer as the guy from within Ghost Recon Wildlands. And everybody's like, "Oh, hey, you're the guy who can do the Destiny raids, right?" Not necessarily all of them, but I can help guide people to the majority of them. But aside from that, it's, I will be getting um the final shape. And I said this before, like let's say this right here where the bottom of the screen is, that's the very, the lowest. All right, that's bar none. My expectations for final shape is about here. The bar is very, very low because when Bungie nerfs armor, we use our weapons. Will they nerf weapons? We use no, I mean, we use our armor and abilities. Will they nerf armor abilities? We use our weapons. Like, pick a sweet spot. Make it to where we can do GMs where they're fun. Because they're not fun anymore. Like, harder level content, it's not fun anymore. It was more like a chore. And yeah, I'll partake in the next day one raid and the next day one dungeon and all the other stuff, but I'm not really going for a world's first anymore because it's not really fun anymore. Especially when you got the same guy who gets his information from inside scoops from people at Bungie. It's just not fun. Why bother trying to get a world's first title if somebody already has the inside information? It ain't fun. It's not. No. I'm just gonna go through, and I'm still waiting on Division Two stuff to be, completely rolled out with the current manhunt, so I can do all that in one fell swoop. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go through and do every single manhunt, start to finish, from the first one that released all the way to the current one. And say, hey, whoever wants to join up. Let's go. I'm on this one. If you are not in the Discord whenever I start that, I suggest you do, because if you have the game on PC, more welcome to joining. Now, on the notion of where I stand on content creation and live streaming, I am still going to continue to do this until I feel like I'm going to continue to do this full time until I feel like I need to step back and, kind of rekindle that fire. I'm not saying I'm quitting right now or anything like that. That's a forethought, all right? What I will say is it gets harder and harder sometimes to hit that start stream, but I still do. Figure, almost 10 years in content creation, and my journey has been rough. And I mean brutally rough. Those who've been with me since Mixer only know me since Mixer. People don't know me from back on my YouTube days where I had, 25 plus thousand subscribers across 3 different channels I had to delete because of BS DMCA claims from people who didn't represent the correct entities. They don't know me on that. But hey, it is what it is. Aside from that, I just continue to trudge on. But what I will say, excuse me, is after my birthday stream, and once I get a couple answers from somebody and I need to reach out to her via Discord to see about things. Once I get the notion on things, I'm gonna have a goal for, the trademark and the basically rebranding elements and everything else, all the other stuff. But once I get that and all the other stuff, I'm gonna have a goal, probably, rough shot of $1,000 to $1,500, and it's all gonna go for rebrand. So within that, like, I've had the name set for a while. I already have the email. I just need the LLC, but before I do anything else, I want the trademark. I want the trademark and the name I'm going to be changing to. And then I go through and I change it on everything once everything's done. And like, I'll do the whole reveal on everything else live on stream. Like, you guys will know whenever I do this change. It'll be live on stream. It won't be, oh, hey, by the way, I changed to this. No, it'll be something unexpected is coming. And I'm waiting for a response and activation of an account that I just signed up for today so that I can announce it. Once that's done and that's approved, then I'll announce it on stream and everything else. And we'll go from there. But no, within content creation and the way that everything is going through, I understand the algorithms and all the other stuff and things within how everything else is going. Like for YouTube, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, everything else. I already know the algorithm. I know when to post. I know what content to kind of post and everything else. That's why I upload at certain days. Now, I know people don't necessarily like watching somebody sit there and ramble on for 30 plus freaking minutes. If you do, cool. I appreciate you. If not, hey, cool. I still appreciate you. But one thing I will never tolerate is somebody trying to destroy my ability to be able to do this or destroy the fun in me doing this. As the only person that's gonna stop me from streaming is me. That's it. Nobody else. And yeah, I know platform staff's like, oh really? We're gonna delete your account. Okay. Load VPN, launch another one. Pretty simple, right? And I bring that up because I'm pretty sure that's how the person that's been messing with me for the past 3+ years has been doing that. But what do I know, right? Aside from that, nobody's gonna stop me from doing what I want to do. Nobody's gonna stop me from pursuing the love of live streaming. Nobody's gonna stop me because I live in an undefeated mindset. Pretty simple. But aside from that, I'm like, there's a couple games that I'm wanting to get, like Foxhole, which once I get that, we're gonna kind of go through and have like roles and stuff if anybody else has it. New World, I'm gonna be diving back into that soon. Anybody's more welcome to join me on that journey. I have Star Citizen. Anybody's welcome to join me on that. basically, if you got the games I got, feel free to jump in if it's one of them things. So, other than that, I'm just doing my thing. I'm just streaming where I please, pushing the content of what I want to push out. Maybe once a week have like my own little echo chamber where I just ramble on and all the other stuff because content is what you want to make if you are in this industry, whether it be recorded format, live format, or short form format. Pick what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one who can stop you. With that, I'll see y'all next week for the next episode on the podcast. Till then, peace.